said he was qualified, so he whipped his ass, while he was in there. Now, the other stuff that happened, it went down the way it did, man.
I would like to wish you all the Brits to go fuck yourself.
1989, a bit of a strange time for professional wrestling, especially in the NWA. They're starting to merge. It's happening soon. They're starting to change into WCW. It's going to happen very, very soon. And this time, the roster, still very talented, but not what it was, in my opinion. You had 2 of the 4 horsemen still knocking about. The other 2 are doing bits in the WWF. But there was still a decent roster, very talented, and this was a good show. Good matches on this card, can't deny it. Let's run through each of them, shall we? Let's start off with Michael P.S. Hayes, the Freebird himself, going up against Russian Assassin 1. With a name like that, you know who's winning this one. Didn't need to be a genius. You don't need to be a psychic or Mystic Meg to figure out who is getting the W in this. Who's taking home the W and who's smoking a big fat L. It looks like it was going to be the Russian Assassin, and it definitely was Michael P.S. Hayes, or Michael Hayes, the Freebird. Looking good here. Enjoyable first opening match. Did kind of drag a little bit, I suppose, but it was okay. Okay opening match. Then we get Sting versus Butch Reed. This is a young Sting. This is a green Sting. This is an up-and-coming Sting. And a good win here for him against a very established wrestler by the name of Butch Reed. My favourite Butch Reed was when he was in Mid-South. I thought it was brilliant there. Over the years, he's kind of diminished, in my opinion. And by 89, he's not the person he once was, not the competitor he once was. But this is still a big win for Sting and elevates him up another level. The Midnight Express story was fantastic. One of my favourite stories from the NWA was the Midnight Express versus the original Midnight Express. It's just Cornette versus Heyman, basically, was fantastic. Yes, you had the talented wrestlers there, but those 2 on the mic, you're not getting much better. You're not really, are you? Mount Rushmore of wrestling managers. Heyman, Cornette, along with Heenan, and for me, Paul Bearer, the 4 best managers of all time. You've got 2 of them right here, right now, doing their thing, and this was fantastic. The only problem was with this feud was this match here at Chi-Town Rumble. There's no Dennis Condrey. He's had to be replaced by Jack Victory. Dennis Condrey's gone AWOL. Don't know where he is, where he's at, and that kind of ruined it. It did. This was still a decent match, don't get me wrong. Jack Victory back then was very talented. But he's no Dennis Condrey. Not at all. And it was kind of a letdown. But Heyman, Cornette, Eaton, Lane made this match still very decent, very enjoyable. But it killed the feud. It did. Condrey leaving killed the feud. And that feud that I really, really enjoyed up until this point. Kind of disappointing. Mike Rotunda defeated Scott Steiner. At this time, we had Varsity Club, which I did enjoy. I thought that was Mike Rotunda's best gimmick. IRS, there's less said about that, the better. But this was the emergence also of Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner as a tag team. People asked me the best tag teams of the 80s. Steiners didn't really get around until the end of the 80s. You didn't really see them. So you can't really talk about the Steiners being one of the best tag teams of the 80s, in my opinion. Lex Luger versus Barry Windham for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Barry Windham was a G-man. He can put on a great match with anybody, can't he really? And he proved it here with Lex Luger. Someone, if you look back over his career, you're not going to see many great matches. But this one here is one you can point to and say, this is probably Lex Luger's best match of all time. I thought it was brilliant. Very, very good. This was the period of Luger I did enjoy during his NWA WCW run before he left to go to the WWF, when he was a babyface facing Flair and the Horsemen. I thought that was his best time. It's where he shone the most. And you could see why people thought he would be like the next Hulk Hogan or something like that. The guy to take us in to the next generation. Unfortunately, that wasn't to happen. We all know the story and what happened there. But this was still a good match. I enjoyed it. One of the better matches on the show, without a doubt. Road Warriors versus the Varsity Club could have been better, but pretty much the Varsity Club just getting absolutely destroyed by the Road Warriors. And that's what the Road Warriors did. They just ran through teams. And it was enjoyable. It was entertaining. It was what it was. And that's what the Road Warriors were about. If you're going to watch this show and you're going to only watch one match, you might as well go and watch the main event. 23 minutes of pure professional wrestling at its finest. This was just a masterpiece, a work of art. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Ric Flair is just perfection at its finest. A great matchup. And this feud and these series of matches between Flair and Steamboat easily can stand the test of time. Go down in history as some of the best matches of all time. And this is one of them. This is one of the reasons why you must watch Chi-Town Rumble. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat winning the title against Ric Flair. Very, very good match. And a very good way to end a good show. Overall, enjoyable. Like I said, my favourite match, Steamboat Flair, easily. Underrated match, Luger versus Windham. Other than that, though, not a lot more to talk about this show. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be back again to review another show very, very soon. So if you got to the end, thank you very much. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. This has been Grey Talks Wrestling, and I'll see you next time.